welcome back, gentlemen, to the Festus Fantasy Football Forum on the Fantasy Jacks podcast. This is round one of the fantasy playoffs. Huge week 15 technically, and we have a great episode planned for you guys. I think probably one of the best all season. Matchup reviews from the chaotic week 14 games. We're going to be doing the reasons why teams missed the playoffs, reasons why teams made the playoffs. We're going to be hearing from pretty much every single manager this video, so please be excited for that. We are also going to be doing the fact of the week, and we're also going to be doing ties, locks with a little bit of a twist this week. You guys are going to want to make sure you see that. And at the end of this video, we're going to go through the 2 game previews for the round 1 of this playoffs, and maybe we even give some predictions for this season. So buckle up. This is going to be, again, probably the best episode all season. Let's get into the Festus Fantasy Fact of the Week.
All right, fellas. Fun fact of the week. It's back to being fun. Steelers won. This week we're going over, in the history of our league, which seeds have won and made the most championships. Here we go. 6 seed. That's you, Judson. Made the championship once. Did not win it. 5 seed. That's me. Made the championship once. Did win it. 4 seed. Believe that's Chris? No, I don't know. Made the championship once. Did not win it. 3 seed. Made the championship once. Did indeed win it. The 2 seed. Made the championship twice. Won it once. And then the number 1 seed has made the championship twice. Won it once. So, that's that. Good luck, everyone. Go Steelers, Ty.
Alright, thank you so much, Tony, for that amazing fact of the week as we head into this playoff season. I'm going to be getting now into the matchup reviews for week 14. I'm going to be kind of skipping over a lot of general things because there's going to be a lot of detail later on in this video for playoff teams and non-playoff teams. But I still want to do my due diligence in giving everybody their flowers or just sending them off from this season, and also recapping my picks, of course. So the first game here, Team DD got B2A'd by 12-man blitz, 120-85. An awful season from Team DD is finally over. Well, I guess not. He's still got to play for the last place punishment, but 12-man blitz, just an exclamation point on a fantastic season that started off awful. This team started 0-4, finishes at 9-5, an amazing turnaround, and one that we can really look to in the future whenever we're having maybe bad starts to the season. Let's go to an upset pick, actually. I did not see this coming. It kind of a come-from-behind win here for the Dogs. 119.36 to 113.3 over Dom's Girth. Great game here. Great win for the Dogs to finish off this season. The regular season record, it looks better than I think the season actually went for the Dogs, but that's okay, okay? Super Bowl hangover, we all saw it. Gonna bounce back next year, I'm sure. For Dom's Girth, another season that you have missed the playoffs ever since you won that championship. I'm really expecting this team to bounce back here in the future years. I know Dom pays a lot of attention to this and it tries really hard, so I'm fully expecting him to be better. Just, you know, plain and simple. Let's go to a huge upset pick. I mean, holy Christ, I did not see this coming. I don't think anybody did. Name still loading. First ever 8-win season, by the way, I believe. Takes down Can't Chubb Check, 121.12 to 64.26. Just a terrible game here by Mez. And a great, encouraging win for AJ, considering he didn't have George Kittle, who he just recently acquired. Devontae Adams had a bad game, who he just recently acquired. Quentin Johnston sucks. But the new pieces that he's gotten, RJ Harvey, again, we know the power of Devontae Adams. We know the power of George Kittle. Michael Wilson, waiver wire out of the year, maybe? No quarterback play still. Chase Brown's been fantastic. Waddle, who you traded for earlier. Just great. Colston Loveland, who you picked up this week. great stuff, great showing here by AJ Forrester. He's going to lock up that number 3 seed. Maybe not super high in the power rankings for the playoffs, but I think he's going to turn some heads. I think he's really going to make some noise if he can just pull it all together, which I think he has the high capability of doing so. For Mez, I don't really know what to say. We're going to get into all that later. Let's go to Jack and Goff. He took down Buggy's backpack 130 basically to 81.56. Buggy's backpack ends the season on, I believe, a 6-7 game losing streak. Jack and Goff 8-6, another pretty good season out of him for Mr. Tony, and it comes off of a great draft. You know, Achan and JSN were the spearheads for this team on top of Travis Etienne. Very, very happy for Antonio Marmani, our soldier. Thank you for your service, sir, for Bucky's backpack. We'll get into it. And now for the primetime games, let's go to the first one here. Brockzilla, he did his job. He did what he had to do. He took down the Guardians 89.08 to 74.06. A super underwhelming game. This was such a disgusting affair. Both these teams, we'll get into them later. I don't want to talk much about it, but going into this game, Brock's job was to win, and he did that. So he's got to hang his cap to that. He did his job. He did what he had to do. But when you go to a huge win this week for Judson Holland here in the Washington Redskins, they take down the Evil Empire, who had the worst quarterback in the league, I think, ever. Congratulations to Judson. He came in here a huge underdog, had a lot of things to have to go his way, and it all did for this week. And his team looks fantastic. Newly acquired Puka Nacua. Turns out that trade was fantastic for him. 36 points is amazing, especially in a do-or-die week. Whenever you had some duds like Ashton Genty, I think this team is going to be a big problem in the playoffs as well. We'll get into that. So, those were my matchup reviews. Let's go over my picks. Alright guys, so I ended up finishing, just taking a look at the standings here, again, an awful season for some, great seasons for others. I finished the 2025 season with a 47-37 record. Very proud of that. I think I did way better than I did last year. I had to check the awards show from last year. So now guys, what I want to do next is I want to go through all of the teams this year. I want to go through the playoff teams, and I want to go through the non-playoff teams. The reasons why they made it, the reasons why they missed. In this segment, we're also going to be hearing from some managers, hopefully all of them, if you guys were nice enough to send in videos. If you weren't, then shame on you. So let's get right into that, guys. And then after this segment, we're going to be doing a live update of the Festus Fantasy Constitution. Not so much by records, but just by the points this season, all of the games inputted. We're going to get that fully updated, and we're going to do it live. We're going to do it live, all right? Here we go. First segment here, why the teams that missed the playoffs, missed the playoffs. I hope managers don't skip this, because I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not going to make crazy jokes. I'm not going to be a dick, because I'm in here with you guys. I'm going to be as analytical about this and fair and judgment-free as possible, because there's so many things that have happened to managers that you can't really predict, and things that went wrong. But objectively speaking, if there was a mistake that I think led to this, then I'm going to point it out. So again, if you're in this category, please don't skip it. Please feel free to watch, and I'm not going to say too much in case managers do send in videos. Hearing from their point of view as well, I think it's going to be fun for this segment. We'll go from bottom up. Starting here at number 12 for the regular season, 3-win Team Didi. The thing that went wrong with this team is if you go all the way back to week 1 and week 2, it looked like this team was on fire, okay? Early season Super Bowl winner, according to Austin. He started off 2-0. He then proceeded to go 1-11 for the rest of the season. I don't know how that's even possible, but it is possible because it happened. What I think went wrong for this team is I honestly don't think he really paid attention enough to this. All right, he drafted a roster, if you're looking at it right now, with not a lot of upside. Meaning he drafted guys that were going to peak early, like a James Conner, like an Xavier Worthy, like a Ricky Pearsall. And what I mean by that, the early contributors, right? James Conner, we kind of all saw that coming, that he's going to get injured. Ricky Pearsall, there was injuries to Juwan. There was contract concerns with Juwan. There was injury concerns with Brandon Ayuk. Pearsall was kind of slated to be the guy early on. Xavier Worthy, there was no Rashee Rice, so he was going to be the guy. Calvin Ridley, with Cam Ward, no one really knew. Obviously, you drafted Lamar and Saquon your first 2 rounds. I think that's kind of where it just went wrong, and then after that, you kind of stopped paying attention, I think. I mean, Brock Bowers got hurt. You couldn't really trade anybody, or maybe you were too stingy to trade with anybody, and it costed you your season, in my opinion. So, if you sent in a video, which I hope you did, I'm going to start playing it.
You know, it really sucks being in last place so far. Probably gonna have to do the bar challenge, but you never know if we can persevere in the consolation. It's probably too far gone, but hey, it happens. Everything went wrong, absolutely everything, but I am prepping for next year's draft.
Next up, let's go to Dom's Girth, finishing the season at 5-9. Another manager where it was mainly due to just an absolutely awful draft. When you, objectively speaking, this was a terrible draft. Mahomes was your best player drafted. A quarterback should not be your best draft pick. If it is, you're probably not going to do good in fantasy. You drafted Derrick Henry, who, of course, had a great week 1, but after that, kind of fell off a cliff. David Montgomery, not a lot of upside there. Brian Thomas, the biggest draft bust this year, in my opinion. We'll see how that gets voted on. Mike Evans, bust as well, and especially where he was drafted, and then his injury concerns. And then other guys like Laporta, Kupp, Shakir, like there's just no good players here. The next big thing, the big controversy earlier this year was the trade with Brock. I'm going to say it was around week 7. But from here you got Quinshon Judkins, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton. On paper, this was an even trade. Right, well, it started as a lopsided trade for Brock. He basically paid for 2 elite players, 2 first-round level draft picks for guys that were not really producing. I mean, DK Metcalf especially. And Judkins hadn't really come on yet, besides, I think, 1 or 2 weeks. So there was a lot of, like, what is Dom doing? And then it turned out to be, well, maybe Dom actually won the trade because literally the week that he made it, he beat Brock in that deal. So, like, with that. That was a big win for Dom. Then you go to where we are now, the end of the season, those players have not performed well. They ended up being awful for your team. Basically, it was a lose-lose trade. I've never really seen anything like it where there was no definitive winner. It negatively hurt both teams, I think, in some ways. Maybe I'd still give the nod to Dom here just because it made his team more well-rounded. But again, no upside in these players, and it showed with the record. So that's unfortunate. I'm going to keep it at that. Hopefully, Dom, again, hopefully send something in, and if he did, I'm going to play it right now.
Season went bad, drafted bad, played bad, did everything bad. It's too late. I'm too tired. Where's my kitten? She's too cute. Alright, that's all I got.
Alright, well, this is the part that I did not want to get to, and I've never gotten to this part, and this sucks. So I have mentally prepared myself. I have rehearsed what I wanted to say. Because this is tough, man. I don't really know, just based off raw emotion, I don't really know how to handle myself. I've never been in this spot. Not trying to gloat about that, just saying genuinely, it's weird. It's a weird feeling not being in the playoffs. It's a weird feeling being the 3rd worst regular season team in this league. It's never happened, ever. But we have the Guardians of your mom's house, right? Finishing the season 5-9. I'm disappointed. I'm definitely disappointed, and I'm not going to talk too much because I made my own video as like a manager, so I want to play that here soon. But just a couple things, right? First off, this was an awful draft. Kyron in the 3rd didn't really get going for me. CeeDee Lamb wasn't really the same this year, especially when I had him. He was injured. AJ Brown, he got off to the worst start ever and absolutely killed me. So a terrible draft, right? Other guys like Austin Eckler, RJ Harvey when he was a backup, DJ Moore, not really good. I think I hit the panic button. I made a lot of trades this year. If you look on this screen right now, Britton Strange is the only one that's on my team currently. that I drafted, and that's only because I picked him back up. Like, that's the only reason he's even on this team, and that, so technically speaking, I have Britton Strange as my only... I didn't even draft Britton Strange, actually. So take that back. I didn't even draft. No one on my team that I drafted is on my team right now. Because I picked up Britton Strange the week before week 1. And then there's a couple bad trades I made this year, right? There's definitely some instances where I should have gotten more for my players that I traded, right? The CeeDee Lamb deal, again, based off of panic, starting the season off really bad. And I liked Drake London based off his upside. I think he had it this year, and to be honest, he did. Drake London was, objectively speaking, better than CeeDee Lamb this year. He just was, whenever he wasn't hurt. And then he got hurt, so it doesn't really matter. But my point of that was, I could have got Rachaad White, and I didn't. I pulled the trigger way too fast. I wasn't patient enough to even ask for him, and I should have done that. My value was way off considering Drake London and CeeDee Lamb, they were not the same player in the grand scheme of things at that time because of name value. Based on production, it is now, but should have got Rachaad White. Had I gotten Rachaad White, I think I would have got like 1-2 more wins just off of that move alone because at the time, I had no RB2. So that was a big problem for me. Fast forward, made some more deals. I actually made a lot of good trades considering like the Garrett Wilson trade. I got Tucker Kraft. I've gotten guys like Tedoroy McMillan. I got guys like Omarion Hampton, who was fantastic for a few weeks. So I made good deals. And I got Travis Kelce at that time too. Like, I made great deals. It just ended up being, they all got hurt. Fuck. Like Tucker Kraft, forgot about him. He was tight end 1 for me. And also, I just... it was just unlucky. Monday Night Football was the death of me. I think I lost 4 games on Monday Night Football, which I'll get into. So I'm going to stop talking as Fantasy Jacks. I'm going to start talking as Manager Jacks. Here we go. All right. Season's over. Recording this on Monday after that amazing Chargers-Eagles game. Go Bolts. I'm going to keep it I'm trying to keep it short here, right? Taking off the Fantasy Jacks cap and putting on the Jax, the manager, the Jackson cap. And I just want to say how disappointed I am in this season. Had an awful draft prep. Was not to my standard when I look back on it. Terrible draft, right? Nothing went my way, and I bitched about it and I complained about it instead of just locking in and doing what I needed to do. And I can't go back and watch that live stream because of how embarrassed I am of myself. Trust me, it set the tone off. It set a bad tone for the whole season. Started off the season really slow. Awful players were not going. Had a lot of unfortunate things happen, like the injuries to Omarion Hampton and CeeDee Lamb. Had a lot of Monday night massacres, right? Just absolutely horrible luck when it came to Monday Night Football this year. And hell, Thursday night too. When I look at some of the trades I made, I think I actually made a lot of good ones. It just... Again, you can't show for it because you went 5-9, and that's unacceptable. And I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to bitch more than I'm doing right now, I guess. Because it comes down to me. Like I said, it comes down to my prep, it comes down to my evaluation of players and how I fucked that up. I think I made great deals for when I did, but I got unlucky with the injuries. I messed up on my roster management, right? I dropped Rico Dowdle the week that he scores 33, and then, you can't go get him. You trade away Nico Collins, and look how great he's done. I get it. Like, Breece Hall has been amazing, and I love him, but it's just been awful thing after awful thing. However, I'm going to say that I'm going to take this season as a learning experience because I think that's the best I can do. If I dwell on it, that's not going to do me any good, but there's tons to walk away from this season about what I learned about myself because I haven't faced a lot of adversity in this league, especially in the last 3 years. I've been the dominant guy. 3 straight championships. All the playoff wins, all the regular season wins, all the stats. I took a lot of pride in that. But it bit me in the ass this year because whenever things weren't going my way, I thought they would turn around for me because they always had in the past. So, a lot to learn, a lot to take away from, and hopefully you guys enjoy me just kind of being the spectator media guy this season because this postseason because I'm gonna take it really seriously. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. Congrats to all the guys that are in the playoffs this year. You guys earned it. Shout out to, all these great seasons that you guys had. I'm really proud of you guys. And just don't forget that I'm still gonna, I'm pissed off now. Like, this season was a punch in the mouth, and I'm pissed off, and I'm going to be coming back better than ever next season, and that's a fucking promise to every single person in this fucking league. All right, next up, we got Bucky's backpack, finishing this year 6-8. We kind of touched on it at the beginning. Started off the season kind of living on a prayer here with the, I think it was 6-1 or 6-2 record, but he had super low points for them. Writing was kind of on the wall with this team, but I'll be honest, it was kind of just injuries. Drafted Bucky Irving, who had the mysterious thing this season that was awful. He drafted Malik Neighbors, who got hurt. He drafted George Kittle, who was hurt. He drafted J.K. Dobbins, who ended up getting hurt. Tyrone Tracy ended up getting hurt and losing his job. I think the Javonte for DK deal was great for him. But the deal that really sent him over the edge and just kind of tanked him was the George Kittle trade that we saw in early teen weeks when he got George Pickens on. Granted, George Pickens is a great player, but the team became so barren that there was no depth at all. And this was a team that needed depth desperately because all of his best players were injured. Bucky and Malik, as we already mentioned. He lost starters in Tyrone Tracy. That happened to him. All right, again, I'm not dogging on anybody because the main thing that happened and the main thing that happens to a lot of guys in our league is injuries, and you just cannot account for it. That's the risk that we take with every single draft pick and every single trade, that they can blow their knee out the very next week, and that's what Malik Neighbors did. So it sucks for Jay Gill. I think I said maybe some harsh things considering, like, how can you not win 2 more games or 1 more game to finish? Like, that was harsh. Because it's very possible that seasons can go south very quickly, especially whenever there's not a lot of depth and there's so many injuries. And that just was the story for Bucky's backpack this year. Still, though, a 6-8 record. Considering that this team has been in the basement, I think it's still a good season overall, just with the wins alone. If Jay Gill sent in a video, I'm going to play it right now. Next up, let's go to the Dogs. Finishing the season at 6-8, and the Super Bowl hangover was true. He took a lot of swings in the draft. I'm 99% sure he's going to send in a video. I'm doing this before everyone has, but I'm 99% sure he's going to say that the reasons that went wrong for this team is the swings in the draft, right? His team was built more for a later part of the season. Unfortunately, Bijan and Trey McBride and Joe Burrow, who ended up getting injured, and T. Higgins even, they weren't ready and they weren't able to carry this team to the bare minimum amount of wins needed to get Travion Henderson going, to get Travis Hunter going, who I think genuinely would have been great. Ibuka was kind of your saving grace here at the beginning of the season, but it didn't really end up meaning anything because, again, it wasn't enough all around top to bottom. There was just so many swings this year. I know we're going to talk about the Bijan trade, but I don't want to just talk about the Bijan trade. I want to talk about something that I think is a little bit more harsh, I guess, but more true. Ty didn't win a single trade this year. There's not a single trade that he made that I think he won in the grand scheme of things. He made the Bijan trade. He got Terry McLaurin, Kenneth Walker, and Michael Pittman. None of those players have been even remotely close to the Bijan value. He also got rid of Addison the week that he went off for like 3 weeks, right? Speaking of Addison, he ended up trading Trey McBride for Tyreek Hill, who blew his knee out literally that next week, and Jordan Addison, who was suspended, who then came back, I got rid of, and then went off for 3 weeks. So that's another loss of a trade. He then gets rid of Ibuka later on in the season to Austin, and I would argue that he lost this trade as well. Saquon and Lamar have been terrible for your team. Lamar especially. And Jackson Dart has been pretty good. Kenneth Walker, he sucks. But T. Higgins, he had his weeks as well. Jacoby Myers, I think, was probably the best player that you got in return. I mean, Saquon has had some good weeks, obviously. But again, the magnitude of players that you traded for, you did not get that value. And that's, I don't know if you won that trade. Genuinely, I don't. Finishing the season 6-8 isn't bad, but the way that the season went, I think, was bad. There was a chance to make the playoffs. You kept fighting, which is admirable for sure. But I want to hear what you have to say. So Ty, let's hear it. Roll the clip. And finally, I mean, the biggest miss of the year, I think, one to really forget about if I'm Brockzilla, finishing the season 7-7, crashing and burning, finishing the year 3-1, or I'm sorry, 1-3 technically. When you start the season 3-1, when you start the season 4-2, even with a couple tough losses in there, right? I don't think this team ever for a second thought that they'd be missing the playoffs considering this roster. I mean, it's genuinely a travesty. Considering you had the quarterback 3, the running back 8, the running back 11, the wide receiver 4, the tight end 4, the wide receiver 25, whose name is Justin Jefferson, by the way. I don't know really what happened. Okay, I know what happened. I don't think Brock wants to hear what I think happened. But what happened, and this is the truth, okay, it's not the James Cook deal. That was fine. All you did was reallocate your points to Amon-Ra, and I'm a pro-doer of that because I think wide receivers are king. The problem was you were so stubborn on not trading Jefferson, Brian Thomas, Derrick Henry, Marvin Harrison, right? You had pieces with some name value, and I get it. You didn't want to undersell them. I 100% agree, but there's also a line of that where you have to admit to yourself that these players are not going to help you. And what the avenue that you took was, these players are bad, I can't trade them, so I'm just going to hope that they get better. I don't think that's the avenue that you had to take. Now, who am I to say? I finished 5-9 because I traded my whole team. So there's definitely two sides to every coin. But if my genuine opinion is that there are players on this team that you could have traded, but you didn't because you held out too much hope. Maybe you thought that, whatever reason. Again, not trying to dog on anybody because I'm here with you. But it's the truth. Telling me right now that guys would not be frothing at the mouth for Justin Jefferson or Brian Thomas or Marvin Harrison or Derrick Henry, or hell, you trade Josh Jacobs even. I mean, at that point, trade anybody. Lack of aggressiveness in that instance costed you your season. And I hope it's a learning experience for everybody that just because things are bad does not mean they will get better. It could mean that they get worse. And that is exactly what happened to Justin Jefferson. That is exactly what happened to Brian Thomas. And that is exactly what happened to Brock's season. If he sent in a video, let's play it right now. We just finished up the reasons why teams did not make the playoffs. And I hope, again, everyone's sending in videos. I hope everyone gets their 2 cents. It could be long, short, I don't care. I think it's important for everybody to give me their feelings. Give us their thoughts because it's a fucking YouTube series. Like, come on. Like, let's just fucking, let's do it. Now, we're going to be a little bit more happier. And we're going to talk about good things. And this is the reasons why teams made the playoffs. Much more joyous. And I think we're going to get some hype videos. I know I already got a couple. So, thank you guys for that. And let's get right into it, guys. So, we're going to start off here with, let's actually go to the playoff bracket to kind of show you guys, again, what we're looking at here. And let's start here with number 6. It's the Washington Redskins. I think the reason that this team made it, I completely counted them out, was not expecting this whatsoever. But when you look at their schedule, finishing on a 4-game win streak, guys, this team was 3-7. 3-7. The reason that this Redskin team is here is because he did not fucking give up. I give so much props to that. Because he really wasn't making a lot of moves either. He made the Puka deal in week 13, right? Or technically week 14. But that's it. Like, he just stayed the course. He played it right, especially with the waiver wire. He made some great waiver wire ads, and he made it to the playoffs. I'm very, very proud of Judson here. A great end-of-season performance by him, finishing at 7-7, sneaking into the playoffs, and we'll get into it later. He might be able to win a game or two. I mean, when we look at it, let's go back to the draft here. Okay, another one of those teams that looks completely different now. Completely different. Drafted Kyler, no more Kyler. Genty, I think, is the only player on this team that is still on this team. Funny enough, right? No more Kamara, traded Nico, traded Devontae in the Puka deal. No Kelsey, no Tet, no Pickens, no Kraft. Genty, a huge change team. He was the only player that stayed on this team. You know, the big turning point obviously was the Javonte deal, which there's maybe a little bit of controversy to that because Jay Gill wasn't really super, cognizant of it, coherent enough for that situation to transpire, because even Jay Gill says that he did not intend for that trade to get accepted when he sent it, but learning experience nonetheless. Regardless, I think this team looks pretty damn good, right? I mean, you're all or nothing on the Dallas Cowboys, it feels, but A.J. Brown is way better now. You traded for him at a down time, but he has really picked it up during this 4-game winning streak, and he's been a large reason why you've gone on such. Genty also really started to pick it up at the mid to end season. Dak, his quarterback 4, so that was a great deal on your part as well. Puka, he's great. I think this team can do great things. I want to say that there's no one big moment. If I had to pick one, I guess it would be that Javonte Williams deal. Obviously, the Puka was great too, but he just stayed the course and had things go his way. He scored points as well. He didn't just luck into 7 wins. He scored in these last 3 weeks. So, hopefully Judson sent in a hype video. If he did, I'm going to play it right now.
Thanks for being here, guys. It's been a wild regular season, but finished the year strong and got the win we needed to punch our ticket to the playoffs. Proud of this team and how we fought when it mattered the most. And look, Jackson called us unseasoned chicken earlier this year, but it's kind of funny because the unseasoned team is the one still playing, so guess we've got more flavor than he thought. As for Chris, celebrating like he had won it before the game was even over, bold move, man. But we closed it out, and that's why we're moving on. At the end of the day, this team earned our spot. We're locked in. Season's not finished. Thanks.
Let's now go to Jacking Goff here. Antonio Marmani, he finishes with an 8-6 record. What a great draft. What an absolutely fantastic draft. Devon Achane, Amon-Ra St. Brown, J.S. Sin, Travis Etienne, Stephon Diggs. Just a fantastic draft and getting great value in the later rounds. For one, you cannot script a 3-round draft better than what Tony did. He went Amon-Ra round 1, Devon Achane round 2, and then JSN round 3. Again, you cannot get any better than that. All 3 top 4 or 5 guys. One of them is wide receiver 1. The big problem this season was the tight end, but he found a way to work around it. He made some great waiver wire additions like Woody Marks and Darren Waller. Quarterback was also a problem, but again, whenever you have such great high-power guys, you kind of can get around it. You know, I think the main story of the season was, oh, this team is full of the stacks. It's full of the super stacks, right? The Lions and the Vikings, and it doesn't matter. Like, when you look back on it, what the fuck did it matter? Right? This team was hidden in plain sight for the whole season. Hand up, I did not notice it. You can go back and watch the videos where I'm saying, well, if he does it this week, then I'll give him credit. And guess what he did? He fucking did it that week, and I still didn't give him credit. Like, yeah, Tony. But no, end of this season, on fire, Jacking Goff was. He was on fire, and he put me on notice for sure. And we're going to get into this in a little bit, but I think this is a dark horse team. Maybe it shouldn't even be considered a dark horse team. I mean, at the 5 seed, maybe, but it's a great team. And I think it can cause some serious damage with James Cook, which I like that deal. Right? You had a decent wide receiver to replace Amon-Ra. I think the T. Higgins deal was not good when you were looking back on it because Aaron Jones and Woody Marks, I think, can be pretty good contributors for you. And unfortunately, T. Higgins probably out the rest of the season, probably not going to be here on your playoff run. But hey, still Hall of Famer for you. I know Tony sent me something, so we're going to play that right now. Thank you for your service, sir.
All right. Tuesday, December 9th, in the playoffs. My side of the bracket, it's rough. First round, Mez. Second round would be Chris if I won. That sucks. But hey, nothing else we can do but line up and compete. And that's what we're going to do. We'll see what happens. Go fucking Steelers.
Let's now go to his week 1, or I guess round 1 opponent here, Can't Chubb Check. He finishes in the 4 seed with a 10-4 record. When you go back to look at this team when he was first drafted, a bad week 1, right? 95 points is nothing that anyone was worried about. But there's a point in time where this team shifted, okay? And you can see the writing on the wall here. Jonathan Taylor was great. Baker Mayfield started off great. Christian McCaffrey was great. He had Michael Pittman, Devontae Smith. Okay, so not huge wide receiver. He went running back heavy. And then in week 4, guys, the blockbuster first trade of the season goes down. And Mez gets Bijan Robinson. A huge game-breaking move. One that I don't think Mez has ever made to this caliber. Truly was an insane play. Thus pairing the running back 1, the running back 2, which I think these were flipped at the time, and then I think also the running back 3 at that time. And from there, he just went on an absolute monster run with a record-tying, or no, record-breaking actually, I think, 10 straight wins. And from that point, this team looked absolutely unstoppable. Look at this run here. 152, 127, 154, 160, 180, 100, 111, 127, and 120. Like, that's a dominant run where he had the league in an absolute chokehold. Nobody wanted to even try to compete this year because that's how good Mez's team looked. However, I don't know if it was me, I don't know if it was Chris, I don't know who was talking in Mez's ear, but he got really fed up with Bijan Robinson, and he then put him on the market. And he then made the CeeDee Lamb deal. CeeDee Lamb getting on this team? When you may on the surface think it was just a reallocation of points like I said it was, I didn't think it was a big difference. It actually was a big difference because CeeDee Lamb he's not been CeeDee Lamb this year. It's been super different, and now he's injured again in the playoffs, so that sucks. This team does not look as dominant as it did. Also, the flexes are a big problem this year. You know, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Higgins, Ladd McConkey, who you also traded for. You can't really trust any wide receiver. You can't trust the flexes. The running backs in Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey, great, but now Jonathan Taylor has a lot of questions. Fuck, man, I don't know what to say much. But another big reason why this team made it was amazing waiver wire additions. Okay, he went and he picked up Rico Dowdle from me because I'm an idiot and I dropped him. Right, on those weeks that he went absolutely off, Rico Dowdle, Mez had him. So he put up 30. So that great job on your part for that. The CeeDee Lamb trade, I just think is going to leave a sour taste in his mouth if he does lose in this playoff series. Because what if, right? I'm not saying Bijan has been otherworldly because he really hasn't been, but he's also been better than CeeDee Lamb, I think. Hopefully Mez sent in a video. If he did, I'm going to play it right now.
You want a speech, bitch? I got you. Team's playing like pussies. They need to play better.
Coming in here at the number 3 spot with an 8-6 record. I don't think I've ever thought I would say this, but congratulations to Mr. AJ Forrester. You deserve it, sir. You played a heck of a season. From week 3 on, you were the leader of this division, and you were not going to give it back. We had a couple close scares, but you hung on valiantly, and when it came time to make moves and do things, you did it. You made some deals that you won, like the Jalen Waddle, Omarion Hampton deal. On paper, it looked like Omarion was going to be the benefactor. It looked like I won that deal, but then come to end the season, Jalen Waddle has been way, way better. Okay? I'm not saying that this team had the best draft in the world by any means, but when you look at it, okay, he drafted Puka. Chase Brown got off to a slow start. Omarion got off to a slow start. Jaden Daniels wasn't really himself this year. He had a lot of flex issues, but then you had some late round draft picks that showed out for you, right? Jake Ferguson comes to mind. Jordan Mason comes to mind. When I think about those guys, I think, yeah, those are the reasons that you were able to get those early wins and kind of just hang on, right? You went on a 3-game win streak. You did enough, okay? In a weak division, I get it, but sometimes you just gotta win. And then the blockbuster deal here at the end of the season to get a more well-balanced team I actually really, really like. And I think it's smart. I will give you a plus for this because I had imagined you were going to trade Puka earlier on in this season. And I thought that you were going to trade him for way less. I think getting Adams, getting Kittle, and getting Harvey was a great deal for you considering that you needed those positions. The funny thing that I kind of look back on is when we were at your house, actually, and you were about to make a deal with Colin to trade Puka. And I'll be honest, me and Brock were throwing a fit saying that you should not make that deal because you can't trade Puka Nacua. And I give you respect that had you made that deal, I think it would have worked out. So it's good on your part that you knew the value that you were going to be getting. Maybe it wouldn't have been, I don't know. Whether you made that deal or not, it's glad to see that you made it to the playoffs regardless. It's not going to come back and haunt you. I think your team looks great coming to this playoffs. I think you can win a game or two, maybe 3. Who knows? This team can surely get hot considering Chase Brown, RJ Harvey, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams, Colston Loveland. These are all great guys. George Kittle, too, coming for you. You have so much talent here on a more well-rounded basis. On top of Michael Wilson being the best player since prime Jerry Rice. So, hopefully AJ sent in a video. If he did, we're going to play it right now.
What is up, League? So, another year for Old Allen's team. About back-to-back years in the playoffs. Guess what? First ever division title. I don't know how the hell I got that. I guess because the division's pretty shit this year. I somehow scrambled to 8 wins. It's also a milestone for me. Wow, yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. I'm just happy that I, obviously, like I said, got my division title. First one. And my first 8-win season. No more 6-8 seasons. We've been going up. 6-8, 6-8, 7-7. Now 8-6. Things are looking up for us. But like I said, that's also because the division wasn't the best this year. So, trying our best. Come round one of the playoffs, I'm honestly kind of happy that I'm playing Judd. I was telling Jackson this, and he was saying, you know, why wouldn't you want to play Brock again? Because you've already beat him twice. I was like, yeah, I know I beat him twice. But the second one was lucky. And I feel like trying to beat him a third time is going to be a pain in my britches. And also, I was saying Judson because I feel like that would be, you know, a good matchup to see how the teams fare against each other after the trade we had. And, you know, see if our old mates that we had on the squad, old roster spots, try to compete and have some days for themselves against their former coaches. But, yeah, other than that, I don't really have much to say or anything about that. I'm just excited and happy that I'm back in the playoffs again. And I don't have to be competing for the toilet bowl and, you know, praying that I don't get the punishment. So, good luck to everybody this week. It's playoff time, baby. Okay, dog wants to say hi. He is laying on top of me. But, yeah, I'm excited for the playoffs. I want to see how this goes. And, like I said, good luck to everybody this week. Hoping for the best. Hoping for some good games. I want to see a good game out of me and Judson. I think it'll be relatively close. I hope. I'd rather, you know, not get swept fucking round 1 again. Get fucking shit on. But it's the way this organization goes. And, probably because I haven't came up with the name yet either for the franchise tag, but we're getting there. I really haven't put much thought into it. I did the name I have now, and I kind of just left it there because I didn't want to fuck with it or think of one. But yeah, good luck to everybody this week. And for the toilet bowl contenders, I'm sorry, but don't get last.
Alright guys, the number 2 spot, securing the second bye, I guess, 12-man blitz, finishing off this season with a 9-5 record. Very impressive here by Mr. Colin Doyle, but nothing that he's not accustomed to these last 4 seasons. 4 straight division titles, 4 straight years of dominance, really, in that division, and also in scoring points. I haven't checked it yet, but I think he was the points leader again this season, and it was because he had such a high floor. I mean, 110, 111 points. I mean, we can go to the schedule here. Look at this. 111, 111, 111, 110, 130, 138, 140, 112, 130. I mean, one game under 110 points, basically. One game under 110 points is unheard of. And you won the game that you scored under 110 points. Thanks a lot, by the way. Very impressive. Let's go back to this guy's draft here. Josh Allen, great draft pick. Jamar Chase, obviously great as well. Ladd McConkey at the time was better than he ended up kind of... Well, it was actually kind of reverse that. He was underperforming because of QJ and Keenan and Omarion and all that. So he was underperforming. You ended up trading him. But let's look at the draft as a whole here. DeAndre Swift, you got kind of late. Jalen Warren, who you got kind of late. Olave, who you got kind of late. Deebo Samuel, who you got kind of late. Hunter Henry, I don't even know if you drafted that guy. But you drafted him. Trey Benson, you hung on for all year and he never ended up playing for you, which is funny. But the only bad pick you had was Tony Pollard. And you traded him. Right? You went out and you got Kyron Williams from me. That was a great move. And I think that's the only deal you made all season, but it's the only deal you kind of had to make. Everybody else has been performing very, very well for you. Colin's not a guy to go make a lot of splash moves. He's not a Chris or me to make a lot of deals. He's the guy, kind of like Ty or Mez maybe, to make one deal, 2 deals a year, and make them really impactful for that team. This year was Kyron, and it was very impactful because he had the wide receiver depth, he had the flex depth, but he needed that running back too, and he went and did it. So I think that's the reason why he's here this year, on top of a great draft, especially in the later rounds. So the Achilles heel for 12-man blitz and Colin Doyle has always been playoff success. He is basically Justin Herbert, if we're being 100% honest, because I don't think he's won in the second round. I don't think he's won many playoff games. We'll look at it. But I think he's going to do it this year. I think this team has a legitimate shot to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be tough, but he has such a high floor, he can rely on that. And that leads us, guys, to the number 1 seed for 2025 Festus Fantasy. Never once said this. Hopefully I never have to again. Chris Lambert of the Evil Empire, finishing at a 10-4 record, grabbing the number 1 seed, and his team looks absolutely dominant. He's been the number 1 seed for what feels like a large part of the season. Let's go back, and I just want to look at his draft one more time because I think it was not that good. I look at this team right now. It's not a dominant team. Jalen Hurts was a great pick. Jahmyr Gibbs was a great pick. Future Hall of Famer for you, maybe. Drake London was actually objectively a great pick. Rashee Rice was a great pick considering where he came from off of your, in your rounds. Rashad White as well. The reason that this team made the playoffs was because he didn't lose a trade. He didn't lose a single deal. He traded Tyreek Hill the week he got hurt for Trey McBride. He's for sure a future Hall of Famer. He then goes out and he gets lucky with Rashad White with Bucky Irving going down. So he basically got a running back / flex spot for the whole season, it felt like. Which, again, but it was not really luck. He drafted him. He held on to him. It was great. It was a great move on his part. He goes out, he trades for CeeDee Lamb, who we all know the capabilities of CeeDee Lamb, even though giving up Drake London, whatever. But he went and got CeeDee Lamb. Name value alone was going to pay him dividends in the future. Alright, he made another deal to go get Bijan fucking Robinson, which was huge. That was for CeeDee. And then he also got guys like Nico Collins. Christian Watson even, like, great waiver wire additions like Fannin, like Watson, not Terrell Jennings, that guy sucks. That's why this team was so dominant and dominantly built, because A, he didn't face any injuries, and history shows winners of this league have these types of seasons where they have made really great, really smart trades, a good baseline draft with their cornerstones like a Jahmyr Gibbs and Jalen Hurts, and even Rashee Rice. Then you go out and you get your guys, you get insanely lucky in some areas, right, with the Tyreek Hill deal, and you look to the future with a Nico Collins playoff schedule, with waiting on Rashee Rice to come back from suspension. If this team started off 1-4, 2-5, Rashee Rice isn't on this team. I don't know if Chris is in the playoffs right now, because things went his way this year. He worked hard in the draft prep. He got guys. Now again, this is not a good draft for him, objectively speaking. I mean, Breece Hall, not really great. Evan Ingram was awful. Roma Dunze started off the year fantastic, but has immensely cooled off. Thanks a lot, by the way. Rashid Shaheed, I guess, a decent flex, but, like, not a super crazy team by any means. And when you go to the schedule, right, the 4-0 right here, doesn't really highlight that, but then that 3 straight losses does. But then you go on a huge winning streak here out on the end of the season, 6 straight, and that's why you're 10-4. But during this stretch right here, week 5 through 7, knowing how Chris is, he could have blew his team up. He could have absolutely sold the farm, because he's done it in the past. He has panicked before, and I think all those seasons of being an absolute dog shit manager and being an absolute cancer to this league, I think it prepared him for this success that he's receiving this year, and I'll give him credit for that. Good job, Chris, staying, strong on the boat, steering it correctly, making good deals, understanding player value correctly, maybe being on the phone super aggressively. I don't think you were a fun person to talk to by any means, but gotta give you props where props are due. Chris sent in a video, so I'm gonna play that for you guys right now.
What's up, fellas? Week 15. Checking in with you on my lunch break. Got a fire burrito from the gas station. But yeah, got the bye all secured up. Gonna use this week to really evaluate, make sure I got the right things going on for my program. The boys are buzzing. I mean, we're ready to compete. We're ready for anybody that comes out there on that turf and tries to take it from us. You know what I mean? To us, it was ours before the season started. We just had to take the necessary steps to get there. But I think the league's more fun with Chris in the playoffs. Evil Empire, making a name for themselves, rebrand year, 10-4, my best record ever. Celebration has to be cut short though, because we got work to do. We're gonna scour the waiver wires like we're supposed to. We're gonna evaluate potential matchups, see where we could improve. And we're just going to do what we've been doing all season long, because it's gotten us to where we need to be. And that's competing for another championship, and we're right en route for that. Got the bye. Got to play one game to get to the ring game. And then from there, take care of business. I mean, job's not finished. I shouldn't be satisfied at all. You know? Celebration ended Monday night, for real. But yeah, good luck to everybody this week. I don't really care what happens. I have a bye. You know what I mean? But yeah, see you boys.
Alright guys, so I'm going to get into the Festus Fantasy Constitution segment, where I'm going to live update all of the new records, not records, but new, win totals, points for, points against, scoring champion, least scoring champion. We're going to do the division winners, right? I'm going to update all that for you guys live. Alright everybody, so new segment I guess. We're going to be updating the Festus Fantasy Constitution live for you guys, so you can see the updated win count, the updated points count, the updated division titles, all the records that we have, not all the records, but all of the new intangible things that ESPN doesn't really show us, but I like tracking. I think a lot of you guys do kind of like knowing. Maybe some don't care, but I like this kind of stuff, so. This is the Constitution. These are all like the rules and stuff that we kind of voted on, and we're going to be going through these again next season. So don't I already have things to vote on. New trade veto rule, maybe add a bench spot, increase the playoff amount of teams, switch division. We'll go through all that. Past winners, Ty, myself, Dom. We're going to be having a new one this year for 2025. Past losers, Dom. Oh shit, Dom. Could be 3 Doms in a row here. Chris, J. Gill, right? All the records this year we're going to be going through in the ceremony. Mez finished the regular season win streak with 10, so congratulations to him. He now breaks the record he tied last year by 2, which is impressive. Going down, I don't think I'm going to add in anything else because I don't remember if anything else goes in there. Okay, so first segment here. The division titles for the first time ever. I guess I'm going to do name still loading. 2025, I'm going to just, because he doesn't really have a franchise name, we're going to go AJ here. So congratulations to AJ, your first ever division title. I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Colin Doyle for 2025. He gets a fourth straight division title. Very impressive for you, sir. And the North only has 2, and we're now going to add a third. So 3 straight years of the North with a new title, 3 straight years with the North even being in existence. And that's the Evil Empire for 2025. That's Chris. Congratulations to you, sir. Division titles per manager. Chris goes up by 1. AJ goes up by 1, and Colin goes up by 1 as well, so he's going to get to 4 now. So Colin officially is leading the charge. We're going to just adjust this a little bit to make it look pretty. Alright, so these are the these are the division titles. Colin wiping the floor, everybody. Here we go. Here's the big one, guys. All-time win-loss records, and I'm just going to go through them, and then I will resort them, and I'll cut to the resortment. But the Guardians, they finished 5-9 this year, don't remind me, so that's going to be a 41-29 record. That's fucking awful. Tyler Wright finishes 6-8 this year, so he's going to finish with a 41-29 record as well. So, now, 41-41, tied between Ty and the Guardians. For 12-man blitz, he finishes with a 9-5 record, so he's gonna be at 40-30 record. For thank you to Mar, he finished the season, as we know. Well, I'm sorry, this is actually Dom's Girth now, so I'm gonna rechange this to Dom's Girth. See, another reason why we do this. Dom's Girth, he finished 5-9, so he's gonna go to 35-35 now, the regular season. For Mez, another dominant season for you, sir. You finished 10-4, so you're going to go to 38-32. Brockzilla finishes with a 7-7 record. He's going to go to 34-36. So not that great. For Judson, he also finishes with a 7-7 record, so he's going to finish as 34-36 this year as well. Team Didi, 3-11. This guy's awful. 28-42 now. That's pretty bad. Evil Empire, a great season for you to get back into the winners column here and to improve your winning percentage. You're going to finish with a 34 and then 36 losses. So good for you. For Tony, one of the newer guys of our league, he finishes with an 8-6 record, so he's now going to be an even 28-28. For the backpack, Mr. J. Gill, he went 6-8. He's going to finish with a 26-44 record. And then Mr. AJ Forrester, he's going to finish with an 8-6 record, and he's going to go to 27-31. Tough math. Okay, let me reorganize this, and I'll be right back. So, gentlemen, reordered it. The Guardians and the Dogs are now tied for the most wins ever, with Colin Doyle 1 behind both of us. In 4th place will be Mez now with a 38-32 record, with Dom's Girth at an even 35-35 record in 5th place. From there, you have Brock, Judson, and Chris all with a 34-win record. And then you have Tony and Austin at 28 wins, respectively, but Tony gets the tiebreaker, in my opinion, because he has less losses. And second to last is AJ, and then in last place now is the backpack. Playoff wins per manager, I'll do this whenever their the playoff seasons end. I guess I could do appearances, so let's go to the... I'll wait for that. Championship appearances, same deal. Scoring titles for each season. Here we go, guys. This is another big deal that people don't really think about. The scoring title for 2025... The Evil Empire, gentlemen. Yes, sir. Evil Empire scoring 1,762.26 points, which is the 3rd most all time, I guess, if you want to put it. The least amount of points for this year was Dom's Girth, and gentlemen, we have a new record. which I didn't even notice until just now. Dom's girth, a record-breaking season from the kid. Let me tell you, he put up a total of 1,318.94 points this season. Congratulations, Mr. Nofo. So many Dom's girth, so many Doms in this record book this year. I'd have to give you a record just for the records that you have. Other records that I still haven't done yet, but I will do after this season, probably in the off season. Straight division titles, consecutive playoff appearances, consecutive first round exits, most consecutive championships made, most consecutive championships won. Just trying to gas myself up here. Another one I want to add here is most first round buys. Here is a new record. Again, Dom's girth all over the record book here, scoring 13. I mean, this is insane, guys. I did not realize it was this bad. And he still had the same amount of them. Whatever. So, Dom's girth, 2025. And he's going to finish with another record in the season. Least points allowed. Let's see if there's any new records here. 1393 for least points of what? Gentlemen, I don't really know what to say about this, but it looks like we have a lot of new records. I'm going to have to go through and double check this. But the least amount of points allowed, in my opinion, means the lowest points against, right? According to this, gentlemen, Adam Schefter is reporting that we have some new records. AJ is going to be the new champion of this in 2025, giving up 1393.58 points. But then not so fast, because then you have Mez here also in 2025. I guess scoring is way down apparently, giving up 1444.84 points. And then going again, gentlemen, again, I have to check this, but Dom, all over the record book for 2025, scored 1462 against. Doesn't look like there's anything else that I need to update. If I do, and you guys see it and catch it, please let me know, and I'll go through and I'll do it. Hope you enjoyed that segment. I don't know, maybe you hated it, maybe you completely skipped through it. Let's now get into the matchup previews for week 1 of the playoffs. Okay, week 15, and we're going to finish off this episode with Ty's Locks. Again, we're changing it up a little bit. Per his request, he has a pretty fun segment planned, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Let's get into it. We're going to go through the 2 playoff games here for round 1 of the 2025 playoffs. Jacking Golf taking on Can't Chub Check, and I will be giving some picks. Why not? You know, fuck it. I'm not in it this year, so no jinx. I'm going to be honest, guys. I love Tony's team right now. ETN, James Cook, and JSN, and Devon Achan potentially on Monday Night Football. That's going to be the concern, is he did get banged up with a rib injury. It wasn't super serious. I think it was just falling on the ball, and he's not the biggest NFL player, so that's why he kind of came out of the game. But when you look at Mez's team right now, he just put up 64 points in the final game of the regular season. That's absolutely not what you want going into your playoffs. So where does this team go from here? On top of that, it has tough matchups with Ladd McConkey against Kansas City, Travis Kelce against the Chargers, Jonathan Taylor against Seattle is an awful one, especially considering his old Colts team is awful right now. Jordan Love against Denver, I don't want that. I don't want nothing to do with that. He's playing Chuba Hubbard in his flex. Alvin Kamara might not even play. Absolutely limped to the finish line, Mez did. This does not look like the team from weeks ago. For Tony, it looks great. Again, Devon Achan could be a problem for you, but if worst comes to worst, you play DJ Moore, or I guess Darren Waller, hell, if you needed to. Jaden Reed, maybe, but I probably wouldn't unless you wanted to hinder some of Jordan Love's points, but I feel like it's kind of risky. I would give this win to Jacking Golf. I really think his team is A, better, it's B, has better matchups. And I think that he's going to exploit that. I think James Cook against New England, I think they have to win that game, so he's going to have to be utilized. A lot of faith in JSN, obviously, but to really get it done for Seattle. Travis Etienne, especially against the Jets right now. They don't have a good run defense. Joe Burrow in a do-or-die game against Baltimore. He's got to get going, so he's going to perform well. I love the matchups. I don't for Can't Chubcheck. I just don't. So I'm going to give this one to Jacking Goff. And this does reseed, so the lower seed goes and plays the higher seed. Washington Redskins taking on name still loading. Washington Redskins are on fire right now, folks, finishing the season with a 4-game win streak, looking to make some noise in the playoffs, and he's got some pretty decent matchups to do it. Dak Prescott against Minnesota's defense, Zay Flowers against Cincinnati's defense, Puka Nacua against Detroit's defense. I'm loving it, folks. A.J. Brown against Vegas as well. I think that's another great one. When you look at A.J., okay, funny enough, these are the two managers that made that trade a couple weeks ago. It kind of is going to come full circle here of actually who won the deal. Jane Daniels should be playing, not for certain yet. He's got a good matchup if he does. Chase Brown against Baltimore. I like R.J. Harvey against Green Bay. I hate that. That's going to suck for AJ. But you have to play RJ, you have to play Harvey at this point. He's been fantastic. Jalen Waddle against Pittsburgh, I love. Devontae Adams against Detroit, I love, obviously. George Kittle against Tennessee, I love. You just saw Harold Fanning go off against Tennessee. Quinn Johnson in Kansas City, you honestly should bench him. He's terrible. Michael Wilson, again, prime Calvin Johnson. He's going to be just fine regardless of the matchup at this point. There's nothing to say otherwise. When you go to the bench here, does Trey Tucker get more involved over Quentin? Does Pacheco get more involved over Quentin? Does Loveland get more involved over Quentin? I don't know, maybe. You know, Jordan Mason maybe against Dallas. I don't know. I think I have to give this one to Judson, folks. I think Judson's team looks better on paper. I think Judson's team has performed better in recent weeks, more consistently, scoring better. I think Puka is the better player to have on that Rams offense right now. And I think his running back room is going to do better for Judson than AJ's will do for his. And I think it's going to be the turning point for this game. So I'm going to give this win to Mr. Judson Holland. Again, snuck into the playoffs and he made it. So good job for the Redskins. I got Tony winning and I got Judson winning. So I have Judson going on to play Chris next round in the playoffs. And then I have Tony going on to play Colin in the playoffs. Again, we do reseed, and I think that's just an ESPN default. I'm pretty sure that we reseed. If we don't, then I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure. Let's now finish off this episode with Ty's Lock of the Week with his new segment format. So, thank you all for watching. Good luck to everybody.
What the fuck is up, boys? We're back for another Ty's Lock special segment. Special segment for special moments. Special moments because it's fucking playoff time. I've done this video a couple times now. I'm pretty rehearsed into this. I got my shit going. So, we're going to jump right into this. I'm going to be betting on a champion. I will be giving away this trophy at the end of the year. And today I will be betting on who I think is going to win it all. Pre-playoff games. Now, if you are a betting man, you might be sitting there thinking, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to make those odds? Me and Jackson came up with that. So, I'll just show you. Let's get right into this. I will be betting my own wins. I have a 9-6 current record right now. Ratio-wise odds that Jackson gave me. One of my wins to create how many more wins based on Jackson. So I understand Jackson wants to punish me a little bit and he wants to make me bet 2 to win however many, which I think that's fair. I do think it's fair. So let's jump right into this. You might be sitting here thinking, like, why are these guys crossed off? Well, I told you I've done this video a couple times, and I might have gotten pretty far ahead in it and then realized I fucked up with something, and now here we are. So here we go. Chris. Got him down. 2 of mine to win 1. So that would make, if I would bet it, it'd be 7-6 record with a loss. If Chris didn't win, then it'd be 7-6, I guess. If I hit it, it'd be
That'd be 3, right? I get that back. So that would make it 12. 6. See what I'm saying? See how I'm getting at? Bet 2, win 2. That brings me 4 wins back. Brings that up a lot. Colin, 3-2. Juddy, 4-2. So betting 2 of these wins to do it, it makes a lot of sense. So, team points per game last 4 games. Yes, I did not do the entire season. I just wanted to see who's hitting their stride right here, right now. It's go time. No more fucking around. Who's got it going? Over the last 4 games, you can obviously, Chris, he is turning it on. Absolutely. He's full stride. Fucking 400 meter, just like Colin and Brennan, getting after it. He's going. It does make me wonder, is that too good? I don't know. He has a lot of star power. We'll get to that. Juddy been scoring his ass off. Look at this guy. 135.13. Chris, 143. I mean, guys, 8 points. 8 points. I mean, you can say 8 is a lot. You can also say 8 is a little. That's 1 touchdown and 2 catches. That's 1 play and an extra catch. Give him a screen pass. That's 8 points right there. I mean, shit can flip real quick. You guys never know. You never know, man. Tony, 117.47. Solid. That's honestly, I feel like that's right where you want to be, around the 120 mark. Because you're kind of waiting for that boom. These guys are booming. These guys are booming currently. Tony, I think, is in a great spot. The boom is coming, I feel like. The boom, we've seen the boom. The boom is coming. We've seen it, and I think it'll stay. Colin, 108.14. This guy. I remember the first few weeks. This guy talking about, I haven't scored under 110. The whole first 4 weeks, the whole first 5 weeks of the season. Well, buddy, these last 4 games, you've been averaging under 110 per game. Not looking good. Not looking good for Mr. Doyle. Good enough. Good enough, I guess, to make it to round 2. Good enough. Mez, Allen. I'm sorry, guys. Allen, 98.64. Mez, 99.62. I don't think that ain't enough. I mean, that ain't enough. It just ain't enough. Let me take you over here where we were earlier, where I did mess up. Studs versus crud. Went through everybody's lineup and wrote down notable names for each one's team. I didn't include some of the flexes who really aren't, like, they can pop off for like maybe 15 as their ceiling, but like I'm really looking for these guys who can put up 20 plus anytime. So, Chris, lots of firepower. Tone, lots of firepower. Colin, lots of firepower. Mez, you had the firepower, dog. Lamb, don't know what's going to happen to him. Obviously, you can see I crossed these guys out. Yes, I did. Lamb, I don't know. Ladd, KC, that's tough. JT, Seattle, tough. CMC, Tennessee, I'll give you 40. I'll give you 40, and I still think Tony is going to beat you round 1. Joey Burrow against Baltimore. Baltimore is so hurt right now, and their defense does not look good. And, I mean, I know the Bengals season is kind of over at this point, but like Joey B said, I'm here to play football, baby. He's going to play. Cook against New England, that's tough. That's tough. That is tough. But a rivalry game, I think James Cook being one of the most talented backs in the league, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I do understand how good New England's run defense has been this season, but I do also believe in James Cook. So you never know. JSN against Indiana, penciled in. Lock it, dial it. That's gonna be it. Their offense, we don't know what the fuck their offense is gonna look like. They might get 17 3-and-outs. If that's the case, this guy is probably gonna have 30 per usual. HN against Pitt. I'm not gonna harp too much on that. He can put up some points. He definitely can. Travis against the New York Jets. Their pass defense has been pretty good. I did some crunching on those numbers at the bottom of the page. Just the top pass defenses and the best rush defenses. But as I'm looking, they got a decent pass defense, pretty solid. Run defense sucks. You just got rid of your best defense tackle a few weeks back. I think Travis Etienne can go off against them, especially if the Jags keep it rolling like they have. T. Higgins, I got him as a question mark, just like Lamb. But I think if neither of them play, I believe that Tony benefits more. I truly believe that Tony benefits more if T and Lamb do not play. I think if they both were to play, it benefits Mez more. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb, he can do a lot. But for round one, give me Tone over Mez. Give me Judd over Allen. I do think there's a path. Notice this game circled right here. The Cowboys. Juddy has 3 of them. Dak, Javante, and fucking Jake. Against Minnesota. That's a good defense. That is a good defense. If them boys do not play good against Minnesota, I don't know, man. Juddy might be in trouble. Genty against Philly. That's tough, man. That's tough. Philly's now lost 2 in a row. Ugly ones. I mean, I don't know, man. Puka against Detroit. I like that. Detroit's been one of the worst pass defenses in the league. But I don't know. I mean, is he really going to get 50 for you? He can. He easily can. A.J. Brown, Las Vegas, he can put up 50 too. So these guys, if these guys are stars, if they're studs versus crud, I think Juddy wins, which I think they will be. But there is a path for A.J. to move on to round 2. I do have A.J. crossed out, though, because even though I might believe in that path, I don't think he gets past round 2 or wins the championship, so I'm going to get rid of him early. Love you, Allen. Sorry, buddy. Love you, Mez. Sorry, buddy. Both y'all are out. So that leaves us with Chris. Washington. Hurts has Washington, Buffalo. Bijan, Arizona, and the Rams. Rice, Tennessee, Denver. Nico, Vegas, Chargers. Trey, Atlanta, Cincy. Gibbs, Pitt, Minnesota. I mean, this guy. Look at this team, man. I mean, I know the dude's, he'll probably send in his own video sucking his team off. But that is a really good fucking team. That team is very good. That team produces. I don't know. Good luck beating them. Josh Allen, Cleveland, Philly. That's tough. That's tough. I know Josh Allen is fucking Superman, Captain America, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Amazing. Cleveland, Philly are still good defenses. Chase, Miami, Arizona, especially with no T. Higgins, I think that kind of hurts him a little bit. Obviously, Chase Brown. Where's he at? There he is. Chase Brown. He's a stud. I think he's a stud. No T. Higgins, though. I feel like Chase gets twice the attention, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I mean, obviously, Chase is an absolute stud. So, if he plays like a stud, these really aren't good defenses. So, I think he can do it. Olave, New York Jets, Tennessee. I mean, like I said, they're decent, pretty solid pass defense. But if he can make it, Tennessee with Olave, it's a great matchup. Kyron, Seattle, that'll be tough. That'll be tough for this week, or after the bye. After the bye, 2 weeks. That'll be tough. Debo, Philly, that's tough too. Bears, Monangai or DeAndre Swift, whoever he chooses to play. Green Bay, that's tough. Colin has a very, very, very tough matchups after his bye. Sorry, Colin. Give him the X. He's out. Give him the X. He's out. 108.4. You ain't been scoring good in the first place. Josh Allen's been carrying you with 40-point games. Get him out. Another second-round exit for Colin. Chalk it up. And now we're down to 3. Let's go back to the Cowboys. The Chargers. Genty against Houston. Puka against Seattle. AJ against Washington. That's solid. That's solid. The other studs have tough matchups. Judd. I don't know, man. Joey B against Miami. I mean, if James Cook's going to do something against New England, you know he can do something against Cleveland. I don't know. You never know. Obviously, I'm not penciling that in for 20-plus point games, but you never know. JSN against the Rams, I don't know. Sam Darnold does have a little problem. H.N. against Cincy, though. Travis against Denver. I think the Jags can put up a good game against them. I think they can. The Jags actually don't have that bad of a defense either, so that could be a low-scoring game. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, this is tough, man. It comes down to these guys. I'm not going to go more through a bracket with these guys. I mean, they all got solid matchups. A couple of them got tough ones, but I mean, overall, I don't know, man. I don't know. So let's talk about pay. We know what teams look like. We know what we like scoring-wise. I talked about everything, basically. Let's talk about the money. I got to put 2 wins up to win 1 from Chris. I got to put 2 wins up to win 2 from Tone. I got to put 2 wins up to win 4 for Judd. Either way, I'm losing 2. So I'm looking at 7 and 6. Oh my God, this is tough. Seven and 6. With that being said, boys, give me Tony. Thought I was circling Chris. Get the fuck out of here. Give me Tony to win it fucking off. Give me Tony.